Alright, welcome to Wimbledon. I'm going to be riding all 7 Aventras today. Starting off with this one. Let's go. Alright, it's 11:08. We're leaving Waterloo, or Wimbledon, going to Waterloo. Let's see how long it takes to do all 7 Aventras. Starting off with the one that's actually not called an Aventra in the branding.
The seats on board here are decent, not terrible, but not particularly amazing. And at every set of 4 seats, you will find this half table. It's not a full-length table because these routes get very busy with commuters, so they really need all the standing room they can get. One thing you'll notice though is that window alignment with the seats can be a bit underwhelming at times.
Alright, so I really like the lighting in...
The next station is Clapham Junction.
Alright, you're done? Okay, so yeah, I was saying I really like the lighting and ambiance on this 701. I think the tones of the blue with the floor as well, it does make it feel very welcoming in a way that not all trains do, especially some of the Electrostars. Alright, Clapham Junction. I think it's unlikely that we will see any 710s on the overground here.
The 701 overall is just a very solid train. Putting aside its massively delayed entry into service, I think it gets all the basics right without being truly awe-inspiring. The seats aren't too bad, the amenities are reasonable enough, it has good standing room, and most of all, it has really fast acceleration, especially for a long third rail powered train. My main critique is that I don't think it uses the digital wayfinding to its full potential, with the side screens remaining static.
Alright, let's go. Alright, I'm at Euston. There is an LNWR, WMT, whatever, departure in a couple minutes. That's on a 350, not the 730, so I'm not going to run for it. But the next one is a 730, I believe. Again, this is not a speed run, this is not an efficient completion. I'm just doing it because I thought it would be nice to do it, and I have free time. I'm just going on vibes. Alright, here it is, the 730. This is probably my favorite Aventra, at least going in, so I'm a little bit biased, but we'll see how it holds up on a 10-minute trip. Alright, so 730 has 2 different types. This is the sort of local commuter variant. It's got the orange style to it. You can see up here there's this little map that shows that, yeah, these trains also do the commuter services around Birmingham. But it's nice to see it in London, even if I can only take it for 1 stop. Seats are really, really nice, and it's got a carpet too. Table seats aren't the most common on a commuter train, but I guess this does do some pretty long trips as well. But the tray tables on the normal seats are pretty small. I'm not a fan.
The one thing I like the most about these trains though is that they are really spacious. It feels like they could have fit in an extra seat, which I'm really glad they didn't do. They're also smooth and quiet, which is great. Now I only had a zones 1 to 6 travel card on me, so I could only go as far as Harrow and Wealdstone, but that's fine.
I'm right at the stairs.
Because there's going to be a 732 heading back to Euston just a couple minutes after I arrive. I'd say I like the 730 more than the 701, making it the best Aventra reviewed so far.
There goes the 730, and in a couple minutes the 732 will take me back to Euston. Try and get a shot of both of them together, but I don't think it's going to work out. Alright, here comes the green 730. It's not only different for being a different livery, but it's also a different configuration on the inside. so immediately, I'm not a huge fan of the legroom. We've got the small tables again, power's there. And you can see on this train, even the carpet is green. Even the screens have a green design motif on them.
As a whole, the Alstom Aventra was a family of trains that was meant to succeed the Electrostar, the train that has dominated the southeast of England for the past couple decades and continues to do so. Much like the Electrostars, they're suited for a wide range of operations, and each of the 7 variants has its own quirks. Some, like the 732 that we're currently on, are really fast. Some, like both the 720s, have an interior more suited for longer trips, and others still, like the 710, are dual voltage to accommodate the mix of lines that the overground services run on. There's not much to split the two 730s, but I do think that the lack of legroom is more of an issue on this variant because it's used on longer trips. Everything in mind, I'd say I like the 732 more than the 701, but not as much as the 730, making it the second best Aventra reviewed so far.
Alright, that was really efficient. Just half an hour to get from Euston to Harrow back to Euston. Let's continue our journey. We got 4 more Aventras to ride. This is a really nice platform finder. Anyway, I need platform 2. Just missed one. Alright, let's go to Tottenham Court Road. Okay, I did say I'm not doing sufficiently, but I did have to go for a bit of a jog because the Shenfield train's in 1 minute. It's coming. Let me try to get closer to the middle. I don't know exactly what I'm doing, but I think I have a plan.
So here we are on board the quintessential Aventra, the 345 on the Elizabeth line. It's the only one with 3 doors per car, which is needed because it is functionally a metro train here in Zone 1, and there's lots of boarding and alighting. That's why the seats are a mix of sideways and front and back, and unlike some others that we've seen so far, it has armrests that move.
Okay, so in some senses it's not really fair to compare the 345s to other Aventras because it's just a very fundamentally different operation. It's like, yeah, it is a commuter train, but it is also like a metro effectively. And in that sense, the seating design does kind of accomplish best of both worlds, but, you know, it does lack some amenities that you would like to have on longer trips that go all the way out to Reading or Shenfield. So, I don't know.
It's really close, but I'm just about to say that I don't like the 345 as much as the 701, and you can get the 4th best Aventra reviewed so far.
Okay, this is Whitechapel, and the station is known for being a place where the overground is under the underground. And the underground's under the the underground's over the overground. They rebuilt the station for the Elizabeth line a little bit, so it's kind of hard to see it now. The Jeff Marshall video when he did the secrets of the district line, I think, shows it best. But yeah, you can see there the Windrush line is going away. Those ones don't use 710s, so it's off to West Ham to get C2C. Said it once, I'll say it again. Mile End is probably in my top 5 to 10 favorite tube stations. Okay, this is the C2C main line. I will be mildly annoyed if any Aventras pop up. I know for a fact there's one at 102, which I think I'll just about make, but I hope none come before. Train is in 4 minutes. Yeah, so the main difference between this and, say, the 701 is you don't have the sort of side tables on the 4 seats. It's a bit underwhelming, and of course being 2-3 just means it's not very comfortable to move through the train. I think that on its own is quite a deal breaker, unfortunately. But other than that, I do think the 720s are reasonably comfortable. Again, I do think the carpet does make a difference. Okay, so the nearest tube station is Tower Hill. I'm actually going to walk to Aldgate. It's a little bit further, but it has more trains that I need. I don't want to be waiting at Tower Hill for too long. So yeah, I guess the question is, how does the 720 compare to the 701? I think both of those, you could argue, have a similar role. I think it's a really tough one for me because I think the 701 feels like a much more welcoming train. It's much more spacious. I think the lighting's a little bit better. But the 720s, I think the seats are slightly nicer if they weren't 2-3. Like, that's the big thing. How much do I penalize it for having 2-3 seating? I'll leave it to VO to decide.
I'd say I don't like the 726 as much as the 345, making it the 5th best Aventra reviewed so far.
I have no idea what's going on, but the frequencies are awful. Flirt! Sadly, I'm not going on that. There goes the flirt. Alright. I do think the 720 is a little bit nicer than the C2C one, rather. Where are we calling at? Where are we calling at?
There's not an awful lot to remark on about these trains. They're very similar to the C2C ones, though I think the finishes and overall color scheme is a little bit nicer. I'd say I like the 721 and 725 more than the 726, but not as much as the 345, making it the 5th best Aventra reviewed so far.
Alright, there is the 720, and now it's time for the final Aventra. One that I already know is my least favorite, the 710. Last and indeed least. Say it with me, everyone. Flirt! I make no apologies for being a Stadler superfan. That's off to Cinquerin zone. If you know, you know. So I did initially say that the 710 is my least favorite Aventra, and I still stand by that, but it does do some things well. Namely these information screens on the side that, you know, something like Elizabeth Line, for example, I've said in the past really needs. I guess the design that you're going for here is a very sort of metro-like service, and to be fair, some parts of the overground are like that, but some aren't. It's like you can be on overground trains for up to an hour. And sitting sideways isn't exactly the most comfy. But yeah, I have done it. I've now ridden all 7 Aventra trains in just under 3 hours. It's currently 1:57. I left Wimbledon at 11:08. So yeah.
I'd say I don't like the 710 as much as I like the 726, making the 7th best Aventra reviewed so far. Now hold on, I have finished what I set out to do in the video. I rode all 7 Aventras back to back and ranked them. So why is there still a lot of runtime left? Well, maybe you disagree with me. Maybe you don't think it's fair for me to instantly dismiss the 710 as the worst Aventra. To which I say, don't take it from me, take it from someone else.
Early the next morning.
Alright, so I did a little review of the 710s myself, but I think one dissenting voice about it is not enough. I have brought along a 710 expert to offer her opinion. It's Willow from the Transport Trio.
Hello, I'm Willow from the Transport Trio, and if you've seen any Transport Trio video, you will know the amount of unbridled hatred I have for these terrible trains. These are my least favourite trains. I hate these trains with a passion. And I'm going to explain to you why these trains are so awful. So, you also have to put them into context of what they replaced. So I'm going to put my bag down here on this rock hard seat that no one likes.
Welcome aboard the Weaver Line to
The
Chingford.
fuck is a Weaver line? First, let's talk about the seats. So, I love sitting comfortably. These are one of the few good things about them, because it means that people who are shorter don't have to click. So it's actually really useful. Clever design choice. And this is one of the other good things, one of the few good things, information screens.
Elizabeth Line needs them.
Can I name any other good things about the 710s?
Orange is a nice color.
Orange is a nice color. Okay, so
But there's a nicer orange Aventra.
yes. Anything in these are the worst trains I've ever had the displeasure of using. And unfortunately for me, I have to use them on a regular basis. Please take me out of this hell. So, we're going to take a ride on the 710 to Chingford.
Wow, that was right on cue.
Yeah. What can I say?
Yeah.
I've got amazing timing.
All right,
Yeah.
we'll
I
see you
timed it perfectly. So
We'll see you at Chingford.
This is
Yeah, we're
a
taking a
Weaver
right
Line
to-
train to
Hang on.
Chingford.
Yeah, we are.
So we're going to take a ride to
The
Chingford.
next stop is Bethnal Green.
We're now going to highlight one of the big downfalls of the 710, and that is the ride quality.
I'm struggling to hold my camera, as you can tell.
To say that they are not smooth is an understatement. And
That's like saying HS2 has had issues.
yes, you have to put it in the context of what they replaced. These replaced Class 317s and Class 315s. Trains famed for their smooth ride. You can see why this is a bit of a problem.
I have not felt that many more intense than a 710 ride.
Yeah, 710s up there with the best earthquake simulators. You know, Science Museum should really take on the 710s because of
They should relocate the Science Museum to something along the line here.
yeah, because
So you get the experience on your way to the museum.
exactly like this train would be a perfect earthquake simulator. I almost have a sneaking suspicion that these trains just don't have suspension at all. Because it feels like they don't. I can't even think of the word to describe it. It is foul. It is non-existent.
The next stop is Hackney Downs.
I don't care. I didn't ask.
I didn't ask, Anne.
Mind the gap
Oh,
between
she
the
has a
train
name?
and the platform.
Shut up, Anne.
I'm glad to know she has a name so I can now address her correctly. I'm leaning back as it's stopping. And you see, this is also why, like, I guess this is why they have sideways seats. Because, like, I'm sitting facing backwards on the sideways seat. Maybe that's why I'm getting strangled by the armrest. But, like, just don't have sideways seats on a sort of out and back commuter heavy route. It just doesn't make sense. No one's doing
Yeah.
local trips.
Like, let's just put it like this. This is another really good point. 710s don't suit a lot of the routes they operate. Like, 710s would be fine on something like the East London line.
Absolutely.
Because
Because, you know, that did used to be a tube line and it was built
it's
like
a
one.
metro line.
Yeah.
The Lee Valley lines, this is not a metro line.
It's like in and out of Liverpool Street. That's it.
yes,
And you're
this
connecting onto something else over there.
This is a suburban
Hackney
branch
Downs.
line.
This
This
is
is
a
a-
Weaver Line train to
This is
Chingford.
This is a branch off of the West Anglia main line. It is a branch line by definition, right? This is a suburban commuter branch line. These trains are not suitable for suburban
This is a
commuter
Weaver
branch
Line
line
train to
operations.
Chingford.
I don't care, Anne.
The next stop is Clapton.
Yes, and these trains are pretty clapped, as you can probably hear by us struggling to go over this junction. So,
I'm glad I didn't bring my mic so you can hear it in all its
in all
horrible
its glory.
quality.
So, as we're approaching Clapton, minor plug to the transport train, go and watch our TFL fleet review, because Clapton is where, to put it lightly, when we were reviewing our 710, it got clapped. See what I did there, guys? See what I'm so comedy. And then, get this right, it stood there for an hour before it got moved by a 66 that had to come all the way from Felixstowe or something. I don't know where the 66 came from. Probably from Stratford Moor, I think. I don't know.
The next stop is Clapton.
Shut up.
We're still getting...
It came and had to rescue the 710
Mind the gap between the train and the platform.
before the line could reopen. And this is a regular occurrence. These trains are not reliable at all. The 710s don't like coupling to each other. They don't. Huh?
Let them kiss.
Exactly. Let the train smooch, but they don't want to. They don't want to. And it's insane. These trains are so bad.
Clapton.
Like,
This is a Weaver Line train to Chingford.
I'm so cool, and I'm Pog champ.
Do people still say that in 2026?
I do.
Cool.
And it's such a shame because the Lee Valley lines are such a beautiful set of lines. So we're about to go over the Hackney Marshes and take a look.
Wow, you timed that amazingly.
I love the sound of a really high quality train, guys. It's a beautiful line. The Lee Valley lines are stunning, and it's like this all along the line. As soon as we get out of the immediate London, like central London area, it's like this. It's beautiful. And that was the River Lee we just passed over.
Only London's second most well-known river.
Yeah.
Thanks, Adele.
Yeah, it's just a beautiful, beautiful line, and unfortunately, it's just
The
ruined.
next stop is St James Street.
Written by those
Unfortunately,
announcements.
just ruined by these
Mind the gap
awful
between the train and the platform.
announcements. It's this beautiful line is unfortunately just ruined by these awful excuses for a train. You want to see what these replaced?
I'll put up a...
You want to see? Oh, I'm going to bring it up right here. This is what these trains
St
replaced.
James Street. This is a Weaver Line train to Chingford.
Does this look like an upgrade to this? They're not even suited to the routes that they work on. I think with all of these, if they actually had a
The next
seating,
stop is Walthamstow Central.
if they actually had a seating layout, you know what? I'm not enjoying this train ride so much that I think we should do the rest of this journey to Chingford on a bus, because I guarantee you that would be nicer than this utter shite box.
Whatever you say.
Honestly, I hate these things so much. Getting on the bus. So this bus will take us from Walthamstow Central, where we vigorously disembarked the 710, to Chingford Station. And instantly, this bus is just so much nicer than the 710.
The seats are actually cushioned properly.
The ride is smoother. Let that sink in. The ride on a bus
A double-decker bus, no less.
is smoother than the ride on a British Rail Class 710. Let that sink in for a second. Let that sink in and let it have a whole dinner at your house for a second. And that was the 212 bus. Much, much nicer.
The rail replacement bus that you actually look forward to.
Much, much, much nicer than a Class 710. I say this with the utmost disrespect to the Class 710s. I have so much unbridled hatred towards those trains. My hatred for them is unmatched. I think they are awful, and this is actually kind of quite nice. But nice bus, nice route.
Yeah.
Cool, epic. And yeah, go subscribe to the Transport Trio. Yeah, go subscribe to my main channel as well, where I do documentaries. And
Yeah.